Today, we are taking a really close look at a fascinating company, one that's a leader in the European healthcare world. We're going to break down Clínica Baviera, a top ophthalmology group, to really understand what makes a specialized medical company tick, and not just succeed, but grow in a really healthy, sustainable way. You know that feeling? Waking up and having to reach for your glasses or put in contacts just to see the world clearly? It's something so many of us deal with. And it's actually the entire foundation of the business we're looking at today. They've built a whole empire on that one simple desire, to see better. So, this is the company we're talking about, Clínica Baviera. They've been around for over 30 years, and in that time, they've gone from just a single clinic in Spain to becoming a real powerhouse in European eye care. They're known for offering some of the most advanced treatments out there for all kinds of conditions. So, how did they get there? Well, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get a handle on their vision for growth. Then we'll do a full financial checkup and see how they treat their shareholders. After that, we'll look at how they're expanding across Europe. And then we'll look beyond the numbers at their wider impacts. And finally, we'll tie it all together to see the big picture. All right, first things first. Before we even think about numbers, we need to understand what Clínica Baviera actually does. What's their secret sauce in the pretty competitive world of eye care? So at its heart, Clínica Baviera is all about specialization. They are absolute leaders in what's called refractive surgery. That's the cool, high-tech laser stuff that fixes your vision. But they don't stop there. They have dedicated units for everything from cataracts to glaucoma. Now, here's what's really interesting. They are the only publicly traded ophthalmology company in all of Europe. That means we get this amazing, transparent look into how they work. And to top it off, they're part of Allerai Eye Hospital Group, which is literally the biggest eye care network on the entire planet. Okay, business model check. Now for the really fun part. Let's put on our investor hats and take a good look under the hood. How healthy are the finances? Because the numbers, well, they tell a pretty compelling story. Wow. The first number that just jumps off the page is their revenue for 2024, a record-breaking 262 million euros. That is their best year for sales ever. But a big number is one thing. The real story is how they got there. That figure, it represents a massive 17% jump from the year before. For an established company, that is some seriously strong double-digit growth. And here's the crucial part. It's not just about sales. They actually walked away with 41.1 million euros in pure profit. That proves they aren't just growing fast, they're growing efficiently. So when you put it all together like this, you really see the full picture of a healthy company. It's not just one metric looking good. You've got strong double-digit growth across the board, from the top-line revenue all the way down to the bottom-line profit. It's just a clear pattern of consistent, high-level performance. Okay, so the company is making a ton of money. That's fantastic. But what does that actually mean for the people who own a piece of it, the shareholders? A company that shares the wealth? That's even better. And just as a quick refresher, a dividend is basically a cash thank you note to shareholders. And that dividend yield percentage, that just tells you how much cash you're getting back on your investment at the current stock price. It's a really direct way to see how much a stock pays you just for owning it. And oh man, this is where Clínica Baviera really stands out. Just look at this trend. Their dividend has climbed from a mere 10 cents a share back in 2012 to over €1.50 today. That is a track record that just screams commitment to its investors. The payouts are growing right along with the company. So what does it all boil down to right now? It means the stock is paying a 3.9% dividend yield. For anyone who invests for income, that is a very, very attractive number, especially when you see it's backed by that kind of consistent growth we just looked at. But look, those strong financials don't just appear out of nowhere, right? They have to be fueled by smart growth. So let's dig into how exactly Clínica Baviera is expanding its physical presence. And you can see their two-part growth strategy right here in this table. On one hand, they're growing organically, opening new clinics in their established markets like Spain, Germany, and Italy. But on the other hand, damn, look at the UK. They made a massive leap, going from 0 to 18 clinics in a single year. That jump from 105 to 137 total clinics, that's some serious expansion. And that huge jump into the UK, that was the result of one single really smart move. They acquired the eye hospital group, which you might know as Optimax. For less than 16 million euros, they got an instant, major footprint in a whole new market. It's just a classic, perfectly executed buy versus build decision. But, a modern company is more than just its balance sheet and its buildings. We have to ask about its impact on the world. So let's look at their performance on environmental, social, and governance issues, also known as ESG. Okay, now this chart might look a little corporate and complicated, but the idea behind it is actually super important. It's a concept called double materiality. Basically, this is how the company figures out what really matters. It's not just about how their business impacts the world. It's also about how things like climate change or social issues could create financial risks or opportunities for them. It's a two-way street. So let's make that idea a little more tangible. On the environmental side, a huge issue for any medical company is waste. And you can see here, in 2024, they tracked over 27,000 kilograms of it, carefully separating the hazardous from the non-hazardous. This is a really critical first step if you want to manage and hopefully reduce your environmental footprint. And on the S side of ESG, the social side, it's all about people. Their team is growing like crazy, adding over 300 employees in just 1 year. Their workforce is also nearly 80% female, which reflects some broader trends in healthcare. They've also gotten a major international seal of approval for health and safety, and through their foundation, they're giving back to the community in a big way. So, we've looked at the business, the money, the dividends, the expansion, and the impact. Let's take a step back and put all these pieces together. What is the big picture here? Well, from an investor's point of view, the takeaway is pretty darn clear. You've got a company with incredibly strong, consistent financial growth. It has a proven history of sharing its success through dividends. It's pulling off an aggressive and really intelligent expansion plan, and it's building the foundation of a serious ESG strategy. It's just a picture of a very healthy, very well-run organization. And that leaves us with one final big thought. Clínica Baviera is clearly a successful business, no question. But as a healthcare company, its success is built on trust and the quality of care it provides to each individual patient. So the real challenge for them and for the entire for-profit healthcare industry is this. How do you protect that core mission of patient care while you're also dealing with the pressures of being a big, global, publicly traded company?